I'm really interested to speak to you, Stéphane, because we're going to talk about a subject which often I feel gets overlooked. Much like politics, people really like talking about the extremes, and it's either small-scale single-use or large-scale stainless steel. We're going to talk about mid-scale. So, I mean, first of all, what is mid-scale biomanufacturing? What does that really mean?
Yeah, when we look at mid-scale, at Lonza, we are looking at 6,000 liters. And that's about mid-scale, approximately. We have seen in the market, and we are expecting market growth in the mid-scale, in the small scale as well. And in the mid-scale, we see a higher growth rate, and or similar to the small scale.
What is the demand for mid-scale? Where is it coming from?
I mean, the market they are coming from different market trends. Basically, we are seeing niche indications, smaller populations, as well as faster path to the market, like breakthrough or fast tracks. The other market trend that is really relevant is the better processes, that mean high titers. And lastly, we are seeing more potent molecules as well, which are driving the quantity to lower scales, like the small and the mid scales.
So really, we have the growing potency, the speed of manufacture and development, yeah, and the higher titers. What do you mean about
niche markets as well?
Niche markets as well.
Yeah, niche indication. That means a customer will like to launch first with a certain indication with a niche population, and then will further extend into other indication with the same molecules.
So would it be valid to say a customer might come in at mid-scale for the first indication or two, and then want to scale up using Lonza's large-scale manufacturing?
Exactly. That means a customer could come at 1,000 liter, 2,000 liter, and jump into a 6,000 liter, or could start already in 6,000 liter and jump into a larger scale later on. And that Lonza can offer all those type of scales as the customer and the project demand.
I guess in the same way, if a customer starts at the mid-scale and demand falls or competition comes along, you could drop down to a small-scale single-use.
Exactly.
So in many ways, the mid-scale offers a certain amount of flexibility for your customers, right?
Yeah, exactly. We from a technical side, we've got quite a lot of different scale at Lonza. And what we have built in our 6K plant is really in-built tech transfer. That means it's very easy to tech transfer from a smaller scale to the 6K as well, or to scale down from a larger scale to that asset. That means we have built a lot of flexibility inside that plant, leveraging as well all the network that we've got to enable those flexibility in that plant and any type of changing of requirement in the forecast.
Just for everyone's information, which plant is it that Lonza operates the 6,000 scale?
We are putting together the 6,000 liter in Portsmouth in US.
Oh, in Portsmouth in US.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And is that operational at the moment, or is this?
It's going to be operational starting from next year. And we are really on track on the construction. Mid next year it will be operational, and we will get with the first clinical and PPQ batches next year.
For 6,000 litres, you're using a stainless steel bioreactor.
Yes, exactly. We are using a stainless steel bioreactor. But I was mentioning the tech transfers. All the seed reactors are made of single-use technology. That means we can easily tech transfer from a single-use technology from one of our sites around the globe and then go into the single-use and then jump into the stainless steel.
Transfer it to Portsmouth and use it in
exactly.
single. Just out of interest, because a lot of companies, a lot of rival CDMOs who are solely working with single-use technologies would Vita offer that sort of volume by running several 2,000-litre or 1,000-litre single-use bioreactors in unison. Yeah. But kind of what economic benefits would a mid-scale stainless steel bioreactor option offer for your customers?
First of all, it's not one or the other. It's really you need to have both of them, the two solutions, either at multiplexing or making more batches at the lower scale and enable you to go to a larger scale. But what we observe is that at a certain point, depending on the process assumption, on the forecast, on the launch strategy, that means already the customer at the phase 2 has to plan for the commercial scale already. There are some tipping points in all those parameters that makes a mid-scale more favorable than repeating a smaller scale. I mean, of course, you can bring better cost of good, but as well, you're going to simplify as well the manufacturing. You're going to simplify as well the quality and the review of different batches as well. And this is why you have to work very closely with the customer to identify when is the right moment and when is the right scale, right moment to jump to the larger scale.
So it's, as you said, it's not one or the other, and it's not as simple as saying this is better. It's really it's really having that customer relationship and being able to talk it through with them. Yeah?
Yes, exactly. That means you need to have a relationship. You need to identify with the customer at that stage. Really, what are the parameters when you want to launch? Is it on one single market? Is it in several markets at the same time? And you need to understand the forecast, or basically the boundary of the forecast, and you need to understand as well the process information like titers and as well all the downstream processes as well.
I'm interested to know whether it's your customers who are sort of dictating this knowledge to you, or you're the ones that are encouraging them to use the sort of mid-scale stainless steel. If it's something that they thought of, or they just hand the project over to you to do it the best that you can.
Yeah, usually a customer might come with already a certain idea in mind. But immediately we are engaging with them and we are analyzing the project profile and as a team build what is the best for that project together. Yeah, that's our process with a lot of customer and Lonza involvement and relationship in order to build a better way to the market, in order to be very quick to the market, because that's really critical, but as well to plan for post-launch best economics, and as well to be able to answer really to the changing demand as best as we can.
Do customers come with a perception of what they really are after? If it's speed, or if it's cost, or if the two things go hand in hand? I mean, what are they after when they come to Lonza?
Yeah. I mean, when the customer come to Lonza, they expect to get a lot of support and a lot of experience. We've been in that business for decades now, and with a lot of product approval. That means they are really looking for our expertise, and as well to get the advice for the best success onto the market. We want to really make the customer successful for that launch and ultimately in the market supply.
I guess that's across your offerings, not just in the mid-scale. So honing it back onto the mid-scale, yes, we just in the previous interview, we were talking about next-generation antibody fragments and bispecifics and such. Would those sorts of modalities be well suited to the sort of 6,000 litre scale?
Yeah. I mean, of course, when we started to design that plant, we identified that approximately 26% of the antibodies are really a new format, and of course we had to answer that kind of issues or new trends, and what we have built within our plant is really a very modular downstream processes that enable really to bring different elements. That means it's not really like we're going to run a platform process in the 6K. but we can adapt to any type of downstream processes in the plant.
Right. Yeah. Obviously, we've been talking quite a lot about the upstream, but you mentioned the downstream there.
Yeah.
Could you just give us a very quick overview of how the downstream is set up? Because we talked about the stainless steel bioreactor, but is the downstream stainless steel single use?
No, it will be single use with a lot of modular component. That means you can exchange the different element of the plant and to adapt it with what the molecule required for the manufacturing. That means we've got the stainless steel, which is pretty fixed, enable the processing, but on the downstream process we have a lot of modularity, kind of a plug and play. We can bring some component of the downstream process. We are not bound to a platform.
What's the benefit of having this hybrid model when it comes to your customers?
The benefit is that you can leverage the best of the two worlds, basically rely on the platform and the best of the processes with a lot of automation that make you faster into the manufacturing. We can drive the cost of goods down, and with all the implementation of e-lab journals or electronic batch records or online monitoring, we can learn a lot from the processes, but as well the modularity bring an element of complexity as well. We can cope with all the complexity moving forward on the different molecule format.
Did you find the technologies that you needed to set up this system were readily available from the vendors, or was there a certain amount of tweaking and bespoke options that you had to take?
Yeah, we of course we are relying on the vendors, but we had to engineer quite a lot, and we have quite a good track record in engineering plant. That means we use a mix of our knowledge and using some of the vendors to make kind of the best plant possible for matching the customer requirement.
So you're not really vendor agnostic. You are reliant on certain bioprocessing vendors for the supply of this.
Yeah, we are not agnostic. Yeah, we are agnostic to some extent. We have some preferred vendors, but we are as well looking at different options to make the best of the bioprocessing. Yeah.
Does the choice of vendor in this facility and I guess Lonza's other facilities, does that have any influence at all on the customer when it comes to selecting Lonza as a CDMO?
No, not really. That's Lonza is taking care of these kind of things. Yeah.
So it's really the customer comes and puts their project in your hands and
of course we are relying on what was existing before, what the process is providing. We are working with the customer. We can adapt based on the project profile, but the customer doesn't have to worry too much about that part. We are in charge.
Right. And Stéphane, remind us, you said the Portsmouth facility, this mid-scale facility, is going to be operational next year?
Yeah, next year, yeah.
Have you already sort of sold out space in it? Have you seen a lot of demand for this?
Yeah, we are seeing a lot of demand, a lot of traction from the customer. We have signed a few contracts that I cannot disclose, of course. We might make some press release soon on those. We are seeing good tractions, and we have planned as well further expansion as well as the customer are interested. That means a lot of tractions, and we have as well possibility for expansion as the demand is coming.
So yeah, I mean, you've preempted me on the question there, but expansion is already at the forefront of your mind.
Is in building, yeah. Exactly.
And would that be again in Portsmouth, or would you look to replicate this model, this mid-scale model, in some of your other sites?
We have in-built expansion in Portsmouth. That means we are starting with a first part of the investment, but we have built within that investment expansion. But we can as well expand in other sites, like in Switzerland, for example.
Well, Stéphane, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you today,
Thank you.
And I really look forward to covering more news from Lonza and reading more about you as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.